So the first thing I like to do is to make the cream or the cheesecake filling, and I use cream cheese. Now I don't really measure, but for this one I use half of the container. I recommend starting with a room temperature cream cheese, so let it sit out and get room temperature. That way it's easier to maneuver and mix. Since I didn't really actually measure anything, what I'll do is give y'all recommended measurements, and what you can do is taste it and see if you like it, and if not, then you just add more sugar if you want it to be sweeter, more sour cream or cheese. Ooh, can't talk today. Cream cheese if you want it to be more tart. And that's what I went for this go around. Actually, I wanted a tart filling, so I used a little less sugar. But if I would have wanted sweeter, you'll see I could have added more sugar. Next up is to add our milk. I like using oat milk because of the creaminess, but any plant-based milk will do the trick. So I started out by adding 1 tablespoon of milk, and I just use that as my base, and then add more as I go if I wanted to, and I recommend you do the same thing. The next thing I added was arrowroot flour. Now you don't have to use arrowroot flour. I recommend you do because I personally like it. I like the texture. But if you choose not to use it, you can use regular flour, but you might want to mix it with cornstarch. Next thing I'm going to add is some raw cane sugar. Next thing I'm adding is a few drops of pure vanilla extract. I used 4 to 5 drops. The next thing I'm going to do is squeeze in some fresh lemon juice. Now follow me. I used half of a lemon, half of the juice of half of a lemon. Don't get caught in the words. Cut the lemon in half, squeeze half of the juice from 1/2 of the lemon. Woo child, I don't know why that was so hard to explain, but I hope you followed along. And now it's time to whisk everything together. And as you can see, my cream cheese was a little bit hard to whisk, and that's because I didn't leave it out long enough to let it get soft. So at this point, I'm just adding whatever else I feel like I need to my base. I taste it and see what else I feel like I need. And you'll just see me add the same ingredients, but a little bit more. Once your cheesecake batter is done, stick it in the freezer. The longer you stick it in there, the harder the chunks will be. For this video, I only froze it for about 1 hour, and that's because I wanted it to not be a full solid. I wanted to be able to taste the cheesecake in every bite and not just in chunks. So the next thing we're going to do is make our strawberry jam. What I do is heat up about 1 teaspoon of butter in a pan, And what I typically like to do when I make this jam is to use strawberries that are almost on the verge of going bad, but obviously not bad, because as they say, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. And it stands true. I like it when the strawberries are a little bit older because they do taste a lot sweeter and you can use less sugar. But these strawberries were fresh, so they won't be as sweet. Once the butter has melted on medium heat, you're gonna add strawberries. I start with 3 and then I end up adding a couple more. But at this point, you're just going to let them get warm and then smush them as they soften. And if you want your jam to be sweet, you can also add sugar at this step. So here's a close-up of the consistency that you're looking for. You want some of it to be runny, saucy, but then you also want to have some strawberry chunks intact. Now it's time for our pancakes. Flapjack, knick-knack, paddywhacks, give a dog a bone. No, I'm just playing. But I'm just showing y'all these are vegan. And the brand we're using today is Vicky Cakes. Woo woo, shout out to them. They are Black-owned brands. Support them. We love Vicky Cakes. They have a bunch of different flavors, varieties. Make sure y'all check them out. And they're affordable. So now I'm just going to follow the instructions on the package to make the pancake batter. So something new that I've been doing is trying applesauce as my egg replacer, and I actually really like it for pancakes. But you can also use aquafaba, or something else I'll use is flax eggs. Now I'm just going to mix this up, and just a FYI, I only used 1/3 of the bag just for this video purposes, but I ended up making the rest of the batter later to make pancakes. Now it's time to add your cheesecake. So if you have chunks, you're just going to cut them up and drop chunks within the batter and then fold it into your batter. But you'll see mine is a little bit less than chunks. It's not runny, but it's also not a full solid. Once you fold the cheesecake in, it's time to make your pancakes. So just either oil your pan or put butter in there, heat it up, and then add your batter. And you'll know it's time to flip when you start seeing the bubbles form in your pancake and start popping. So now it's time to put everything together. We're going to plate our pancakes. So you're going to do a layer of pancake, then a layer of your strawberry jam, and then alternate the layers. So for the very last layer, I decided to put a plain pancake and cut up fresh strawberries. And since we are doing this for Valentine's Day, I felt it was only right for me to put them in the shape of a heart. But of course, you have the option to put them in any shape you want or no shape at all. And if you made it to this far, just know you are a real one. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see y'all in my next one.